Hello, Michelle. It's been a while. I got some of my Halloween decks out, so I'm using the zombie deck right now. So we will get started. I will do the full Celtic for you and upload it to you shortly. So you're a Sag, right? I think I remembered that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Lots of wands, which is your suit, which is, not surprising. Usually when I read for fire signs, usually. All right. So the first one we have the Ace of Pentacles. Or the Ace of Hazards reversed. So the Ace of Pentacles or Hazards or whatever reversed is it can be like a false start, but it can also be, money issues or kind of expecting a brand new start and not exactly being the way you want it to be, kind of holding out for a brand new start. So it's almost like new beginnings on hold, and the Hazards or the Pentacles are very practical. This is maybe extra hard work or extra time that needs to be put in, or perhaps you are overworking. Maybe you are working a lot of hours, and so you feel like you're treading water. There's that kind of energy to it. But it is, and the other reason I say that is what's crossing it is this 10 of Wands. So this is the card of Sag. So the 10 of Wands is about feeling burdened. So at this point, it's kind of the card of being or feeling or actually being overworked, or a lot of burdens or a lot of responsibility. There's some struggle at this time. And, this comes across as financial because of the Pentacles. So that's what the current situation is, feeling burdened, kind of overworking, looking for this brand new beginning that's not quite happening, and just kind of doing a lot of work. Or even the kind of work you're doing, you just feel like you're treading water. So it's that kind of situation currently. What's heavily on your mind? You have the King of Cups. So still wanting to meet that significant other. It's heavily on your mind. You want this King of Cups, which the King of Cups represents Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. That's not necessarily the issue. The King of Cups is that perfect soulmate energy. I'm going to take a clarifier. Yeah, we have the Sun reversed, just waiting. This is fellow Leo, so it's like, I just keep waiting for something to happen. Now, I do like the Sun. It's a good card, but when it's reversed, it kind of talks about maybe not being ready or thinking you're ready, but not, kind of shining the light on exactly what it is you want. And I know this comes up frequently in your reading. You got the Queen of Wands. I mean, you have so much to offer here. You are a Queen of Wands looking for your King of Cups. You're passionate, creative, very loving, so you're really looking for somebody to share it with. But, we got the Sun card in between the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Obviously, the Queen of Wands is the Sag Queen. But that Sun card's reversed. So there could be, a lot of times when I do readings for people at the shop, when I get the Sun reversed, it talks about shadow work, which is basically stuff that you talk about in therapy. It's that kind of stuff, doing some inner work, in order to track that perfect mate that, for some reason, maybe you're not ready. Maybe you do have to do some inner work. If you feel like you are ready, you're definitely wanting to manifest love in your life. But there's definitely a shadow that falls across, which is with that Sun reverse. And it's a major arcana, so it's not something we can just be like, well, it's temporary energy. I think you've been in this energy for a couple years now. And also in your recent past, we had the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is just, crying over spilled milk or being sad. kind of feeling like you're missing out on something, not realizing you have a Two of Cups behind you. And that can be a couple things, especially being the Five of Cups is, current is in your past position. This is kind of living in the past a little bit. You could be not upset, more nostalgic. It's not exactly a Six of Cups, but having that nostalgia for what was, and maybe that is the shadow work that you need to do to move forward. There might be some bitterness, there might be some unresolved issues, emotional issues with yourself. So you're, maybe a little bit pessimistic with yourself, or you're being hard on yourself. And this comes from past events, divorce, having something that, seemed better now than it was at the time, that nostalgia. Okay. Moving to the future, we have the Six of Swords reversed. Six of Swords talks about, moving away from that kind of energy, going on a journey. You're kind of on a journey of self-exploration. And in that self-exploration, we talk about doing shadow work, or, what kind of patterns do we need to break? That kind of thing. Because there's definitely some sort of blockage here. But the Six of Swords being reversed is kind of, it's time to take that journey. And it's not always the easiest to do. Sometimes you have to cut out habits, situations, people even. But this is indicated in your future, it's time to move forward. It is a card somewhat of travel. To me, it's more of a spiritual journey, or just kind of changing your situation or your outlook. All right. Foundation for your spread, you have the Page of Wands reversed. So the Page of Wands reversed is kind of like the tantrum child. So in the foundation for your spread, okay, this card kind of says to me that you're showing up in your spread, but there's a really distinct feeling of living in the past. There's a high need for growth, but yeah, this card is the need for growth and not to be reliant on others. And I don't necessarily think that's financial, but the need for growth. Maybe not the need for others as you are maybe focused on finding that soulmate. I don't want to say for the wrong reasons, but you can do this on your own. You have a ton of friends, a huge, family support system. And the King of Cups would be just a nice bonus. But anyways, this card being reversed, it does herald the need for growth and to do things for yourself. So, which I'm sure you're already doing it. You're already doing it. I apologize for the graphic nature of these cards. I just have my Halloween decks with me. So, all right. So we got that part. So this side, how do you feel about the situation? You got the Five of Swords. So inner conflict, just conflict, just maybe not seeing eye to eye with even friends. Maybe they're like, you don't need anybody, or, you're doing great on your own, which I think you are, but you're just missing that key component, which is heavily on your mind. You showing up as the Queen of Wands and really, really wanting that King of Cups. Okay. So that's how you feel about this. There's inner conflict, and there could be outer conflict too with friends that like, hey, you're fine on your own, but you're like, no, I want that soulmate connection. And then of course your external influences, and in your external, you have the Six of Hazards or the Six of Pentacles reversed, which is about not equal give and take, which is not meeting partners that are up to your standards. And that's maybe part of the issue is that maybe you're going on dates and just nobody is matching your energy, your drive, your ambition, what you're willing to put into. And that's what the issue is in a lot of ways. And yeah, and we have the Ten of Swords reversed. So it does talk about you're still kind of healing. I still feel there's some residual nostalgia. I don't know necessarily if it's bitterness, but just there's that nostalgia piece. And then we have the Justice reversed. So these are basically the minor and the major arcana, okay, of feeling like not balanced externally. Like, man, keep going on all these dates, or I meet people and they're just not on the same page as me. And so therefore am I destined to be alone? So it's that kind of energy. You got the scales on both. Also the scales is the head and the heart are in different places as well. You got this is, I know, weird, but there's like a brain and a heart. But anyways, this is a perfect, when this is upright, it's a perfect balance between head and heart, but it's not. And again, this is external. You have a lot going on. And so you might not have time to devote to manifest, to bring love into your life. Or you might think you want a new relationship, but do you? Is now the right time? And I know you do, but yeah, there's just an imbalance. There's an imbalance here between, the head and the heart. And again, it could be just nostalgia, living in the past, that kind of energy. Hopes and fears. You have the Eight of Swords reversed. Yes, I almost feel like you're in a trapped cycle, like that you feel trapped, that you just don't want to repeat the same patterns. So it's definitely it's a hope and a fear. It's a fear that you're going to repeat the same patterns. It's a hope that you can change and break free and try something different. And again, that comes back to the nostalgia that I'm speaking of, and getting unstuck. And that's what this is. This Eight of Swords is about getting yourself unstuck. And moving forward. And I think a lot of it has to do with your past, whether, again, you're bitter or you're living in the past, or you're just thinking maybe things were better in the past. And, we do tend to go back and sugarcoat the past sometimes. Or we tell ourselves, oh, it wasn't that bad. It's that sort of energy. So you really want to get unstuck. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at. And I think you've been there for a while, for a couple years. And then in our outcome, we have the Four of Pentacles. All right. So the Four of Pentacles is, it can be kind of that energy of really guarding yourself. It's definitely a very, very guarded sort of an energy. It's kind of being possessive of your time, selfish with your time, but in a good way, in a lot of ways. I don't think it's necessarily a bad card, but it is, you could be hanging on to past stuff, which is the theme of this reading is hanging on to maybe some past things. But this is asking you to abandon tired ideas about relationships, embrace change for the better, unlock the door, and share some, wisdom, and because you have a lot to share. I believe you have a lot of expertise and a lot of wisdom to share, basically. So to open up. So it is almost opposite. I know you want to call in a soulmate, but then we kind of have this guarded energy. So there's definitely, I'm going to take a card between these two. So in your headspace, again, we have the Queen of Wands, which is you, the King of Cups, which is, yeah, we have the Temperance. Here you are, Sag. This is the card of Sag showing up in your own reading. It's reversed, but again, kind of losing patience, wanting to call in that soulmate, but also showing up in your own reading that it's like, hey, I don't want to self-sabotage here. I don't want to, maybe I do need to do some work. Maybe I don't have the time to manifest what I want. I mean, I know your life is super busy. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say. I hope this helped. If you need any clarification, let me know. I'm going to upload this to you. And you can reach out to me and let me know what format you want to pay me on, because I have all three. And today it'll just be 15. It was kind of quick, but I think, like I said, the overall theme is you want to be ready for this relationship so bad, but I feel like there's a lot of, you have a lot of other obligations with work and money, children. Not wanting to repeat past patterns is a thing that you don't want to do. And again, if you do want to do some shadow work or just some self-discovery, that's why the Sun is reversed. Like, what exactly do I really want? Showing up in your spread with this Temperance card. You've been pretty patient, but at this time, this is another indication that it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? How do I, am I repeating patterns? Am I not being open enough? Which kind of, am I living in the past? And this Four of Pentacles kind of suggests maybe not being open enough, kind of being guarded, being possessive of your time, and maybe being possessive of your heart, which I get. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for reaching out, and we will talk soon.